High street ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Okay, I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope. So, a while ago, the Queensland Police Service, who I used to work for, they were having a hard time in recruitment. Hard time in recruitment. They couldn't understand what was going wrong. I mean, they didn't want to admit that, they'd made an enemy out of a lot of police officers who had experience. So then the attrition rate was skyrocketing. People leaving, people still leaving. Apparently, something like a dozen. It's back up into the double digit figures every week. Police officers, experienced police officers leaving. Anyway, that'll be a different episode, I suppose. But a while ago, they decided, well, we're having some issues with recruitment. We can't get young people in, young Aussies, young Queenslanders. They won't come in. How do we appeal to these young people? Who want to get in and serve their community, have a good career that pays quite well. You get a lot of good experiences out of it. You get to do things in policing. At least that was my experience. I got to do things in policing that I would never get to do outside of that field, outside of that arena. So they came up with this great plan and said, the way we will appeal to young people is we'll say, come join the police because you will get lots of money and great lifestyle. Lifestyle and money was what they decided. That's how we'll appeal to young people. And I believe this might have been a Queensland Police Union idea. And I'd seen a lot of these billboards getting around, and you just, oh, wow. You sit there going, wow, is this really the type of person? This is what I've been saying. Is this really the type of person that we want to bring in, that we want to attract to be a police officer? Remember, these people get around armed, firearms, tasers, batons, OC spray. Is this really what we want? But no. The people at the Queensland Police Service, the people in HR, they decided this is what we need. So let's bring up this story. A young fella, he's only about 20, I believe. And so he hasn't been in Queensland Police for very long at all. But let's see how he's gone. I'm afraid it hasn't been that great, sorry to say. So from news.com.au, former constable. I believe it's former because he only just resigned in November, I believe it was. So former Connie, Zachary Edward Murphy, charged with accessing and distributing child abuse material. Wow. Okay. This is the kind of officer that, funny enough, seemed to make it through that vetting process that HR have really got down pat. So former Queensland Police Constable who allegedly distributed child exploitation material could have to wait until 2025 to get access to it, use the internet to contact his lawyers, a court has been told. Zachary Edward Murphy, 20, appeared for the first time before Brisbane Magistrates Court on Thursday after he was charged with one count each of using a carriage service to access child abuse material and use a carriage service to distribute child abuse material. There he is there. Court documents seen by Newswire reveal police will allege Mr. Murphy used a carriage service to access and distribute child abuse material that were computer-generated images. Wow, okay. From a home in Deebing Heights in Ipswich between January 27 and June 29, 2024. Very recent. The former Southern Region Constable was charged on October 18 and granted conditional bail. He was ordered to not have any contact either directly or indirectly with any child under 16 years of age unless directly and constantly supervised by a responsible adult, according to documents. Mr. Murphy was also prohibited from accessing the internet except for the purpose of self-education, banking, self-education. Okay. Or employment while on bail. During Thursday's court appearance, Murphy's lawyer, Annie Bryan, I assume that's her there, little blonde lass, sought to amend his bail to allow him to use the internet to be able to communicate with his legal and health providers. Magistrate Penelope Hay said she would not be amending his bail in court on Thursday, instead explaining to Mr. Bryan that her client would need to make a bail application, to Ms. Bryan, a bail application to amend his conditions. Hay ordered a full brief of evidence be provided to Mr. Murphy's legal team and adjourned the matter to January 13 for further mention. So following Mr. Murphy's arrest in October, QPS suspended him until further notice. However, on Thursday, police confirmed Murphy had resigned from his job in November. They would have been there on his case about resigning because he's pointing a bad spotlight on QPS, maybe shining the light on the fact that they shouldn't have employed him in the first place. But when you're just advertising to people who are interested in lifestyle and money, well, then you get nufties who are just interested in lifestyle and money. Check out some of the ones on Instagram lately who, they're all gym junkies, and funny enough, won't go there, but there's a certain type of person who just seems to be recently employed by QPS, all gym junkies, all putting up clips, reels on themselves on Insta in their nice little, just at the gym, nice little gym workouts in their nice little gym outfits, and then they're having pictures, reels with them in their, how great they look in their QPS uniform. All very recent, all new members of QPS. Lifestyle and money, this is what you get. So in keeping with our commitment, this is QPS spokesman statement, in keeping with our commitment to high standards of behavior, transparency and accountability. We all know QPS don't like transparency or accountability. It's only because they have to. So in keeping with their commitment, we have undertaken to inform the public when a member of the service faces serious allegations of misconduct, the QPS said in a statement in October. So I'll tell you, in keeping with my commitment to make sure that anyone in Queensland Police Service who absolutely screws up like this, my commitment is to make sure that the story gets out there even further. Because police officers, QPS in general, and the government need to be held accountable. So the way you hold them accountable, as far as I'm concerned, is you continue to speak out and spread the word. This is what happens when you decide that you want people. Yep, we need to get young people in. And what's the type of young person that we need? We need people who are interested in lifestyle and money. I think my thought when I saw this advertising campaign spoken about, I thought this is the most ridiculous thing. You are going to get people who are not suitable for the job. It's bad enough that they had already lowered their standards for recruitment because they wanted 50-50 parity. That was bad enough. But then if you go and you lower the standards and you're appealing to people who are just interested in lifestyle and money, well, then you're going to get nufties who do this kind of stupid thing. When I was at the CCC, we were investigating and she got charged. Rachel, can't remember her last name. As soon as she was out, she was just a menace. And she was a drug dealer. She was back in Brisbane. She would literally finish work. We were following her around. She would finish work. She would go back, and she'd be dealing drugs in the afternoon. It's like she was a police officer during the day, flipping cocaine dealer during the night. Absolutely ridiculous. Very young copper, new to the job, but lifestyle and money, that's the way to go, QPS. That's a great campaign. I'm glad to see it's working out really well for you. Anyway, it's all just my opinion. Let me know what you think. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
And say it isn't real. And please don't go away. Just give me one more day. What if I could turn back time? I'd make you smile again. And if I could unbreak your heart, and we could start again. What if I could? could turn back time, I'd make you smile again. And if I could unbreak your heart, and we could start again. We could start again. We could start again. We could start again.